Kash Patel just cannot keep himself out of the headlines. Kash Patel is the FBI director. Kind of bizarre person. And he, to say the very least, and he got a few different scandals. In the MAGA world, a lot of MAGAs started claiming that his girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, who's this country music singer, was a spy. And then that was and then now she's suing them over it. But the main one was he was using taxpayer funds for the FBI jet to take him to go see her, not for something that's official business, but just to go see her at a singing event, a wrestling event where she was singing the national anthem. And he had previously railed against FBI directors for doing just that and wasting taxpayer funds on that luxury travel. And so that was kind of the next wave. And now we have a new wave of what is Kash Patel doing? He's totally misprioritizing retribution and his own luxury over actual safety for Americans. And so before we get to that, I need to remind you of some of what we talked about with this whole Patel situation. And a lot of it, well, what's this? Let's see, what's this?
I miss that man, always will. Sees through the night like an old screen door. Taught me how to hunt and how to love the Lord. He carried a Bible in a 44, and they just don't make them like that no more.
No, they don't. Oh, that was the wrong clip. Whoops, didn't mean to play that. That was a love song to Kash Patel. Then this is what was the last flashback I meant to show. And this does not have to do with, her name is Alexis Wilkins, the conspiracy theories about her being a spy. Which I find funny because it's the most insulting thing to be like, that's your girlfriend? She must be Mossad. Wait, there's no way. What? There's just no way, right? That's such a funny reaction from people to start going, she must be a spy. That would be the only reason that these two would be together. But I don't believe that. I believe love is love. I believe that even Kash Patel, to some people, can be the most beautiful thing imaginable. As I'm saying that, I feel a little silly. But, so that's what she's suing, was those theories over. Well, now you have this. Him melting down because he wanted a full SWAT team to protect his girlfriend, which is against every protocol. But then they went, she's fine. We're going to go back to doing SWAT things. So Kash explodes after SWAT team won't babysit girlfriend. At performance, the Daily Beast reports, Kash Patel blew up after his taxpayer-funded protection detail ditched his girlfriend at the NRA annual convention in Atlanta. Why would you need protection at the NRA convention? I was told the more guns, the safer an area. So it must be the safest convention because everyone got them guns. Yeah. The FBI director assigned an entire SWAT team. That doesn't make any sense. Isn't there wouldn't Secret Service cover this or something? SWAT team. From the Bureau's Atlanta field office to shadow his 27-year-old girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, at the conference. Both current and former FBI officials told the outlet that Wilkins' extensive and unusually frequent taxpayer-funded SWAT security, including at that conference, or at the conference where she performed the Star-Spangled Banner, was highly unusual. The assignment of SWAT-qualified special agents to guard his girlfriend are indicative of his lack of leadership experience, judgment, and humility. You had Christopher O'Leary, a former FBI agent, saying, and they left their posts at that event after determining that she was safe and secure. And Patel lost it. He ripped into the SWAT team's commander for leaving his girlfriend unprotected and slammed it as a failure of the chain of command. Now, I saw like, let's see here, Swalwell saying what is true, which is this is not anyone advocating that she shouldn't be safe. Now she's a public figure, and I'm sure she is getting threats with all the spy conspiracies, so she should be protected. Here's what Swalwell said. I don't want anything to happen to Patel or his girlfriend. Protect her if she's threatened. It's just effed up that he refuses to protect me and my kids from multiple specific death threats. Same for the other dim colleagues. And then he says, can only conclude he wants us dead. I mean, that's quite the claim, but I think you see that it's kind of he's using in the way he railed against for years the FBI for his own personal interests in those ways that he was mad about. And like, she should be safe. Does she need a SWAT team? She should be safe. Is SEAL Team 6 after her? Why is it this level? Is there like an army that's coming for her right now? Other have been quick to call it hypocrisy, like I said there. Wilkins defended her robust protective detail because of the things that she's beginning. Bureau officials also told Times that agents from the tactical team in Salt Lake City were ordered to provide a protective detail for Wilkins. There was one that I wanted to, they added, so they said this was unprecedented, officials with knowledge. They added that the reallocation could hinder agents' ability to respond to public safety emergencies, including mass shootings and terror threats within the Nashville field office's jurisdiction. I mean, that makes sense. We don't have infinite SWAT qualified agents, I'm sure. And it feels like there's a lot of things that could end up happening that you would need them all hands on deck for, that might cause them traveling over to Wilkins' hometown to protect her, could cause them to be away from more pressing emergencies. But we want everyone to be safe, however much we disagree with them. This continues to be a story about how his priorities are so whacked. And the most consequential example of this is, yes, how he's traveling around, taxpayer dime, whenever he wants to go hang out with his girlfriend, and then getting SWAT teams to protect her, and it's just sort of... But then on top of that is that he's so, like Hegseth, so mentally unstable, and fired someone, lost his mind because people, based on publicly available information, found out about that flight that he used the FBI jet for. He's getting rid of any very well-trained, experienced FBI officials and agents if they defy him or Trump at all, or if he thinks they could, or if they worked on a case he didn't like before he even took over. And the stories like this, I think, further illustrate his head's just all in his own world. And it's all about furthering either his interests or his MAGA loyalty interests, and not really being the best leader of the FBI. So that's Kash Patel. Let's look at some of the other important members of Trump's administration, what they've been up to. You have Sean Duffy, who has been telling us we need to be more polite on flights. We covered that in the bonus show. While we continue through this, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate the show. It is free below the video, but it helps to get more people understanding this message. And we talked about on the bonus show the Sean Duffy Golden Age of Travel that starts with you. His new initiative that is encouraging people not to wear PJs to the airport. You look ugly. You look ugly and you look fat and you need to stop, is his argument. And you stinky was his other argument. And your baby needs to be chucked out of the window because it's too loud. That's his other argument. And the pretzel bags are so small. Can I not have 3 more freaking pretzels? Okay, that wasn't him. That was me. And before I show you his latest update on that, while he's arguing Golden Age of Travel begins with you looking better, he also cites don't berate airport employees. That I agree with. People get unhinged and think that you can just scream at people. That I agree with. But I don't care what you wear. But he's actually doing things to make the Golden Age much more not golden. I don't know what the opposite of golden is. I had a few thoughts and then they all sounded kind of wrong. Think of like a few different colors and I was like, oh wait, some of those will sound weird. But the non-golden, not even the bronze, not golden. age of travel. In your face, Sean. I can't think of a better one. But it's stuff like this, rolling back a Biden era policy that made it to where airlines actually had to reimburse you when they ruined your travel plans. Instead of being like, well, we can rebook you on another flight and we can put you up in the Motel 6 and we can give you a food voucher. Oh, really? Like, so I can go eat here while I'm going to be here for the next 8 hours? Well, you can only use it at the airport at 3 restaurants. Okay, could you just give me cash? No, I'm sorry. You can only use your food. And sorry, you just lost 1 restaurant. You can only use your voucher on 2 restaurants. And they're actually not restaurants, they're just gift shops, but you can get Cheez-Its. So instead of that, the Biden regulation that was about to go into place was they actually have to pay you. Just like give you money if your travel plans get completely destroyed. And Sean Duffy is saying, no. Golden age of travel means not that policy.
I want to ask you about something else. During the Biden administration, there was this push for greater passenger rights. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to have the airlines compensate people, give the money if there was a delay, if there was a cancellation. But that is something that the Trump administration has said they do not want to do.
Well, we took a more common sense approach to it. If your flight is canceled and you're flying through Newark and you're stuck here, well, we think the airline should actually refund your flight or put you up in a hotel, give you a meal. But if they changed your flight number and it's going to fly at the same time, that doesn't count as a cancellation and they don't have to refund you. And so we just want to have the right balance between.
You see what he did there? And if they change your flight to a different flight number, but it leaves at the same time, we don't think they should reimburse you. Is that what you changed? It's not, by the way. I'll give you that in a second. But really? You think we're that dumb? The change in policy was that when does that ever happen? They go, hey, so your flight's delayed, but it leaves from the same terminal. It's just a different plane. So we need to pay you. No, we know your trick, Sean. Your airline buddies, probably a donor to Trump, I'm just guessing. And the fact that you just like rich people never having any problems, didn't like the idea of having to reimburse the consumers. Which has been in other countries proven when you implement that policy to reduce delays, the likelihood of delays, because the airlines have more of an incentive to make sure they don't happen because they're the ones who are on the hook.
And the passengers, and you all know that if you have all these passenger rights that are dinging airlines left and right, some where they should be dinged, but sometimes they should not be sanctioned.
Dinged.
Well, just the price of tickets are going to go up. So what is the right balance? And I think the last administration, the guy that sat in the seat was trying to run for president. I'm not running for president. So what I'm doing is saying, how do we have the balance between the airlines and the passenger?
Well, then apparently, I guess in that case, running for president was a good incentive for people to want to do things that are popular and good for consumers. You can take that down. Okay. But here's the actual truth. It's not just if your flight number gets changed. Passengers just lost out on repayments of up to $775 for long flight delays. In the European Union, think of this. A 2004 law guarantees airline passengers up to $700 as compensation for delays of 3 hours or more. So if you're trying to get somewhere and they go, we've all been there, hey, your flight is going to be delayed 30 minutes. You're like, okay, cool. Well, my thing's not till, I'll be good. I gave myself a little wiggle room. Oh, it just got delayed another 30 minutes. I'm so sorry. Oh, it just got 45 minutes, but we're really working hard. And then another. And never be mean to the people telling you that, because they never are the ones who have the control. The person at the desk who has to announce it, don't you dare be mean to them. I feel so bad. People are like, my flight's delayed. It's your fault. It's like, this is the front desk person. What are they doing? Okay. So, but they kind of just delay. And all of a sudden, 8 hours later, I don't know if that's a realistic story, but like, you get my point. It's just delay. And then you often miss the thing you were even flying for. So it all was ruined. The reason you bought that ticket was completely now made irrelevant. So 3 hours or more, up to $700 of compensation depending on the price of the flight. The Trump administration just killed a similar proposal for American travelers. On Friday, federal officials withdrew a Biden-era proposal that, if enacted, would have required airlines to compensate passengers up to $525 for carrier-caused domestic flight delays between 3 and 9 hours, and $750 to $775 for those exceeding 9 hours. It would also have required airlines to pay for delay-related expenses like meals, transportation, and lodging. The carrier would be at fault for delays caused by issues such as aircraft maintenance or computer software engineers. Software outages. I just started reading the next paragraph and totally forgot what the end. I just guessed what the last word was going to be. The proposal is similar to the EU air passenger rights regulation. The U.S. version has been opposed by major U.S. airlines and backed by passenger advocates who argued it would reduce delays as it has in Europe. Now it's being thrown out. Back to just get your meal voucher and shut the hell up. Because these airlines need to make a little more profit. Now, I know sometimes the airline biz can be tough. And I don't want businesses to go out of business. But I also think the traveling experience shouldn't be miserable. And we've seen policies just like this work elsewhere in reducing the headaches. And then the airline doesn't have to, because they put more effort into reducing the delays, doesn't have to worry about compensating if they make it happen, Captain. Get it? Right? Captain of a, yeah. But here is, so that they're killing, that they're getting rid of, a cash reimbursement, which is a big difference than we can rebook you on another flight, which they can also still do, but that, nah. But what they do want to spend effort on is getting back to politeness in the airport.
That's right. Manners don't stop at the gate. Things aren't what they used to be. Some would call it the golden age of travel. Let's bring civility and manners back. Ask yourself, are you helping a pregnant woman put her bag in the overhead bin? Are you dressing with respect? Are you keeping control of your children? Are you saying thank you to your flight attendants and your pilots? Are you saying please and thank you in general? The golden age of travel begins with you.
So I love the one about, are you keeping your kids under control? What parents are purposefully not keeping their kids under control? Just sometimes it's impossible to keep them under control. I've never heard anyone gripe about like a little kid who runs by you in the airport. That just happened. I almost mauled probably like a 7-year-old who was running across and just sprinted. I almost just punted them because I was walking really fast and I dodged them. Boom. And everything was fine. But I didn't have a problem with that. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. They was running around, felt very safe in the airport, which I felt was like kind of sweet that the parents seemed kind of calm that their kid was running. And it was a little bit of could have been a mishap, but it was fine. No one really cares about like a kid who's playing with their other kid friend, they're making a little noise. The only thing anyone ever talks about is babies crying. And it's pretty tough to deal with that. It's not like parents are trying to get their kids to cry on planes, is my point. Not so much in their control, unless you drug them to sleep, I guess. I just heard of something called a baby margarita. Do you remember that? I guess it's some medication that helps kids in hospitals go night-night. Maybe we make those. It's like you go with your bucket of pretzels and then you also have a little bucket of baby margaritas. I don't know what they are, so I don't know what that means, but just get all of them to conk out. That could be a suggestion. But then in this interview, he talks about, well, we don't want people brawling with each other at airports. Well, yes, I agree with you on that. I don't know why you're clouding your message, murking your message with wear nice clothes to the airport. Don't tell me what to wear. This is America, bitch. Don't tell me what to wear. I'll wear what I want. I'll go in my Speedo if I so choose. But I do agree we need to do something about people who are unhinged. People get in airplanes and they turn unhinged.
Something I didn't know, in 2018, 400% increase of in-flight outbursts by passengers. 2021, 1 in 5 flight attendants faced physical incidents. You want to change that?
Yeah, so Donald Trump talks about the golden age of transportation, the golden age of America. But the golden age in transportation truly began.
I think that this 400 increase was really pandemic related. Like, ever since the pandemic, I just remember once we came back to traveling, we had forgotten everything. We came back to planes after a while and we were just crazy people. So this is an important initiative. And I felt so bad for airline workers, flight attendants who will deal with the most insane stuff from passengers who think that because you bought like a $300 ticket, you are the king of the world and you need to be serviced in whatever way you so choose. Chill. But you know what's going to cause more outbursts? Revoking the rule where people get their reimbursements. That's going to cause more outbursts, I can tell you.
And you, the traveler. And so if you think, and you just watch social media, you have brawls at the baggage claim. You have passengers berating gate agents. We have really pass airplanes. People dress up like they're going to bed when they've, I see people getting on airplanes and they're having a hard time taking their luggage and getting in the oversized or the above bin. Help people out, be nice, be courteous. And so we want to push people as we come into a really busy travel season. Help people out, be in a good mood, dress up, bring civility back to travel. And I think everyone's
What is this dress up obsession? I personally love the idea of everyone walking through an airport in like their nicest outfit. That's cute, but I know it's not going to work. So don't waste your breath on dress up. And it sounds kind of weird too. I want to see some hot ladies at this airport today. Do you know what I need? I need a mimosa before my flight. I need nice bathrooms and I need sundresses. That's what I need in my flight experience, okay? I don't need my ticket to be reimbursed if it gets delayed 4 hours, but if you got some nice denim on, that'll do it for me. Okay, that'll do it for me. This is a weird obsession. Everything else, I don't think... How do we stop people brawling at baggage claim? Baggage claim brawls, which, as long as it's between passengers, sounds kind of fun to observe because there's a lot of things you can throw at each other. There's a lot of bags around, so you can like chuck it at each other. But I obviously don't want that. And people have gotten completely unhinged on flights, and that needs to be handled. I think forcing people to dress up and not reimbursing their tickets will only increase the brawls. What brawls? I've seen some brawls. That's not true. I've seen some brawls. People are being tied into their seat because they're going crazy. You remember that person we covered who was like screaming, slapping someone? I think a lot of it had to do with the pandemic. We got really socially isolated and then we came back into being in small tubes with each other and it didn't work. Something went wrong about being in small tubes with one another. Who could have thought